Happy birthday, happy Sag season to my loves. Happy birthday to my sister, my other half, my favorite person. Oh my gosh. I can only say that she is just my favorite person to get into trouble with, to roam the world with. When we fight, it's hilarious. Which I feel like if you're going to fight with somebody, it better be hilarious. And I think that's what I love about Sagittarius. I can disagree with you guys. I can get so annoyed. And yet I'm like, we're still laughing because we get how ridiculous it is to even disagree. And I just love you guys. And I'm so grateful for your energy in this world. I just want to say that for those of you who had November birthdays, I just hope they were beautiful. I hope they were everything that you wanted. I hope there was all the love and all the sexiness and the excitement and the adventure. And for those of you heading into your birthdays, I also hope the same thing. Your birthday season's always interesting. I feel like it's fun, it's exciting, it's playful energy. Obviously, but there's this other thing going on, and this year it's really interesting because we have Mercury retrograde going back into Scorp on the first day of December, and Venus moving forward into Scorp on the 2nd of December. So we're having this 12th house action still lighting up that part of your chart, that neighboring sign energy that we were kind of working through all of November leading up to your season. And there's this sense in December, with all that energy moving through Scorpio, we did have big lessons with Mercury and Venus, right? And we're still working through the Mercury retrograde incorporation time, right? As we are opening up this year of Jupiter in Sagittarius. And there is still this kind of check in with your 12th house, check in with your spiritual house, check in with yourself. And there's so much energy like that. I mean, we have all that going on the first week of the month. We have all this energy in Scorp. And then we have a new moon in your sign on the 7th, right after Mercury goes direct. We have a new moon setting your intentions, getting real with yourself, getting real with where you want to plant your seeds. It's a very personal new moon for you guys. Mercury moves into your sign on the 12th. So then we're starting to get some momentum here, right? We're starting to get some real Sag momentum coming back by the middle of the month. And then we hit into Capricorn season and we hit into this full moon in Cancer on the 22nd. And that is 8th house energy of transformation, of shift, of change. So, you come out of your birthday season, and it's always kind of okay, now what? 2019 is about to hit. We're in our 2nd house. We're in this value house. We're in this value energy. Now what? I just feel like there's heavy hitting undercurrents. I think that's always true for Sag. I feel like every time I talk to you, every month, I'm you guys are going to have so much fun. There's so much brilliance around you. There's so much energy. It's so fun. It's so lighthearted. It's so great. But watch out for the undercurrents, because you guys have undercurrents. Nobody knows all this stuff that's happening. You guys are so good. Oh my God. You guys are so good at having a secret internal world. People have no idea what is going on under there. I tell you guys, I'm not kidding. And it's so funny. I think that's just part of your duality, part of your mutable fire characteristic is that you are able to have both of those going on at once. So often when I'm doing these readings, let me start shuffling. I notice that I keep coming back to, okay, things are good on the surface. The energy's there. You're transforming. You're connecting in. You're checking in. Make sure you're checking in at those deeper levels that maybe sometimes you guys avoid a little bit. In your willingness to kind of move pieces around, go for things, try things out, make things happen, book tickets, talk to people. 8 of Swords popped out. You guys, I'm not making this up. Why would I? In the midst of all that fun, jubilant energy, which I think is there for you, no doubt, there's something deeper going on. The note I had for you, King of Swords, truth, balance, honesty, integrity, clarity. The note I had for you guys was pay attention, just very on a subtle level to your paradigm and belief systems, right? Because you all like to frame your resistance in a positive way. It's a great out. It's a fantastic out for not having to look at why you're resisting something and how you are actually blocking yourself. I know you guys are very hard, industrious workers as far as like getting into the flow and listening in, but I have to tell you, you guys are very sneaky. You are some of the sneakiest people when it comes to sneaking your resistance into your day-to-day life. You frame it really kind of smartly. Like you guys are tricky that way. Hermit. My gosh. The energy here, like that Mercury retrograde. I mean, I'm filming this as it's already begun. It's asking some questions of you, especially once it hits square in December. It's asking some questions. But you're sneaky about how you frame your resistance. You frame it as that you love independence. You frame it as you're free-spirited. You frame it as, oh, well, I'm just testing out different options. You frame it in all the freedom terminology. You frame it in all these really expansive, fun ways. But underneath that, a lot of times you're like, I don't want to have to like sign on that dotted line. I don't want to have to actually show up fully for this project because if I do, I might be imprisoned with it. I might be imprisoned by this thing that I really want. Because I want it and I know I want it, it could imprison me. So I'm going to resist it a little bit because and I'm going to put it as a prison, and then I'm going to say my resistance is me retaining my freedom. It's me retaining my clarity of mind. World. Oh yeah. Right? I know, like right now, you guys are like, because it's true. Believe me, I do this. So I know. This is what you're hitting up against during your birthday season. This is what you're hitting up against when we get into Capricorn season. That Cancer full moon is at 0 degrees of Cancer, right? Star. Fantastic. Okay, we're shifting gears. It's funny, actually. I feel like once we get into Capricorn season, you all find a little bit more flow again, actually. I think your birthdays are just super, like, you're asking some heavy-hitting questions, like, underneath it all, even if you're having a lot of fun, which I think you will be. The energy, like, once again, this is not bad energy. You have great energy, but you have this watery, intuitive side working at you, like, consistently throughout the month. So while you have Jupiter there starting to illuminate you and really getting into the flow there, and while you have all that, you still have this underlying thing going on. So one thing to notice is if you're feeling like pulling back, if you're feeling like that little like, friction, like resistance to something, something's like bothering in the back of your mind, but you're able to just put it over there because you can. I mean, you can always, 3 cards came out. Fool, Hierophant, 8 of Pentacles. Okay. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Pentacles. Do you deserve it? Do you deserve what you're really wanting? But, if anything nagging at you, take a moment. If it's nagging at you, sit there. Just notice. Is it something that's going on with how you're framing everything? Is it something going on with how you're feeling about your ability to take this on? Ability to step into those shoes? Ability to move through something that means something to you? Because once again, the more something means to a Sag, the more freaked out you guys can get, even when you keep going for it. So let's talk through these cards. So 8 of Swords, important energy. It is whenever I see this energy, people want to get out of this space as quickly as possible. Normally, they will do anything to just like free themselves from this kind of mental landscape, because it's like, I don't want to have to sit with this. I don't want to have to be freaked out. I don't want to feel tied up. I don't want to feel haunted by something that's bothering me. I don't want to feel any of it. Like, don't make me feel it, please. This card can give you everything you want. You have to be willing to chill here. And this is what I'm saying. Like, for every single one of you, this is different. Really, every single one of you. Some of you have housing projects that you're working on. Some of you have relationships you're working on. Some of you have career and life calling things that are really dinging at you. And all of these things, any of these things, there's one particular probably for each of you that's really hitting home right about now. And it's nagging at you. There's something about you feeling that you're keeping it out. So when this energy comes in to slow you down, this Mercury retrograde is going to be doing it. This post-shadow of Venus retrograde is going to be doing it. It's helping you to just listen into the very simplest of wisdom. The wisdom is extremely simple. We want to intellectualize it. Like, you guys are very smart, and so you can like run circles around yourself and others, and you can argue any viewpoint really, and like make it make sense and make it work. But when it really comes down to it, you already know what you need to know, and it can be boiled down to like 2 sentences. It can be boiled down to resistance or acceptance, right? And you know that. And that 8 of Swords will be like, I want to show it to you. Look at that simplicity though. The King of Swords and the Hermit are not looking for complex answers. King of Swords is like cut and dry. Maybe you have an air sign in your life. We have some Aquarian energy showing up here, right? Libran energy. But the thing with King of Swords is like, this is cut and dry. This is not about running in circles. This is not about intellectualizing. This is not about getting up into the stratosphere of ideas and making it really complicated. This is about, is this what you want or not? If it's not, then like get over it. If it is, stop locking it out. Is this really what you want? Then why are you doing that? Why are you framing it in a way that keeps it away from you? Why are you doing that to yourself? Like, that's what the King of Swords is saying. He's kind of, I'm not saying it, I'm blaming it on this guy. But and then you have the Hermit, who's also like, yeah, we're going to go there. We're going to go there. Like, if you keep having the same question hitting at you, I've already given you the answer. For some of you, maybe you realize you really don't want a project. You really don't want to have to keep doing something. Maybe you just know it's time to let it go, right? For a lot of you, I think this is about opening something up. There's 2 sides to trust. There's the trust of letting go and falling out free into the world, which I think you guys are relatively good at. And there's the trust of opening up to the next thing. And I think that's the more advanced level in many ways. But that's the worlds. That's the dichotomy of the world, the alpha omega energy of the worlds. And by the way, you got the Star and the Fool. So we're going full circle here, you guys. There's a whole full circle vibe going on with you of close out, open up, which makes sense. When you have solar return, you have Jupiter here, you are closing up, you're wrapping up what no longer serves. You're really wrapping it up after, honestly, it's even been this whole last year. I know we were all excited. Saturn moved on next door to Capricorn, but it wasn't that easy, was it? It wasn't that easy. It came to visit. The haunting came to visit. And this is really that time where it's both. The trust of letting go of your old paradigm that is based on this idea of I'm free-spirited, I need to be free, I need to be a free bird. But that freedom becomes its own cage, right? And the realization that true freedom comes from being fully open, even when you want to keep that secret side of yourself locked away, even when you want to self-protect it even more than ever. You are being called here to look at why you have that dichotomy in yourself and how it is keeping you, it's holding you back energetically and resource-wise just a little bit. And that's where this bad boy comes in, the Star and the Fool. I love these two, and I love that they came out together. The thing is, you guys, I don't really have to hammer it home that you are willing to try new things and you're willing to set your sights on new horizons. I already know that about you. I'm not trying to say that you don't have that free-spiritedness and that in-the-moment presentness and that you're not totally willing to try things out and be curious and find out what's going to happen. You definitely have that. I think when I'm hitting a little deeper than your natural way in the world. I'm hitting a little more into where you have been operating from wounding and old fears, and that stuff goes way deeper, and that's the alternate world that people don't often know about, Sagis. You guys are, like I said, you keep that for yourself. Very few people will ever get access to this part of your world that's really heavy hitting. There is a deep, intense sadness to Sages underneath all the buoyancy. That I think there's legitimate information there, is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying this month is sad. In fact, I mean, come on, you guys, like party, fun, right? But you're going to have even more fun. You're going to invite in the new year even more. You're going to feel even more empowered if you invite this part of yourself to the party. And this is your unknown horizon. This is your landscape that I think some of you have been engaging with this last year. 2018, you've had to hit up against this a number of times. But what I'm seeing here is like, this is your chance to really move and expand past this. It will bring in stuff that you know you've wanted and you know you've been ready for, and it's starting to expand. Now, what I always say with these two, it's like you get all the goods. You get all the goods. You get what you want. Things are lining up. You're getting your answers. You're getting your answers. You're getting your clarity. You're getting opportunity. It's all there. Cut and dry. And your question is, are you going to let yourself reframe? Invite that part of yourself to the party and expand into territory that is unknown as of yet and is scary and is intimidating and makes you shake in your boots a little bit because it hits on something deep within you that you have felt you've had to keep at bay because it equated somewhere deep in you to something traumatic, to something scary, even though in the way that these beautiful things are showing up are clearly going to invert that association, right? Like one of the most healing things we can experience in this physical world is when we've had something traumatic happen with relationship, with valuables, with our identity, with what we've built in the world. The most healing thing that can happen is that you get into a situation that mirrors that traumatic experience of it and turns it on its head and shows you how you can engage with the same life course material, and have it actually be amazing and buoyant and expansive and good for you. And that is the trust that is being asked of you right now. That is the growth, and that is the beautiful thing. And that's why it's so good. That's why it's so good this month. I'm getting goosebumps. Boop, boop, boop. Oh my gosh. Oh. That is what this is all about, you guys. But truly, a lot of people miss the opportunity to do this. Not just Sages, but just like all of us, any of us, miss the opportunity to do it because the trepidation about meeting that old paradigm where it hurt the most and having to go in there keeps us away from it. Keeps us, it's like, keep that over there. I've done that. I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to search for new experiences. I'm just going to keep searching around. But the reality is that we keep looping back on very simple, pristine truths. As much as we like to intellectualize, as much as there is complexity to this machine and the higher intelligence and how we process through energy, there's also a serene simplicity, a serene consistency to it all that really boils it back down to one thing, which is, are you letting it in or are you not? Okay, one last thing to think about. This is like a total shift in gear, but it's like once you expand past this, it's like, oh, let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's make some things happen. I think this energy, I see this and I'm like, oh, you're going to show up. You're going to get things moving. When it comes to value, how you value yourself, how you value the experience, how you value your ability to show up to this, here is confidence in that. Here is building toward something beautiful. Here is legacy building. Here is commitment on a path that serves you as much as you serve it. And that's what you want to see. Right? The Hierophant is committed energy, right? It's spiritually committing to trusting, seeing something out and staying with your feet grounded enough to really be there for it consistently over time. And here's the thing I want to take away with that. That is not imprisonment. to show up to this kind of consistency is utter freedom. Because it opens doors every single day. This kind of rooted, clear-sighted, passionate showing up opens so many doors because it shows up to turn those knobs and push the door open. If you are staying in that kind of floating, I don't want to have to turn that doorknob, that will get me a little bit too into something that maybe I don't want. You're just stuck in the hallway. And the hallway can bring you like some interesting things, some interesting artwork, some interesting lighting elements, maybe some interesting carpeting. It can bring in like wafts of experiences. You may connect with experiences that come and go. You may connect with things that come and go, and you'll wonder why they came and why they left and why is it like that? And that's that resistance. Everything's inverted here. Everything's inverted here, and it's meant to be that way. Because you don't want to be stuck in the hallway anymore. You want to be out there, manifesting. And I see it for you. I do see it for you, but you see that the roots of that manifestation go way deeper than just the surface level. And that's the thing that's interesting about Jupiter and Sagittarius. Yes, great, fantastic, love it. Let's do it. Sag season, let's do it. Let's have an amazing year. Let's make all this stuff happen. Let's open it up. It's also a spotlight. Jupiter is a spotlight, and it will show you where you're resisting abundance, because the abundance will be like pouring over you. And if you're not in flow, it just feels crappy and it's resistant and it feels confusing and it feels foggy and it feels scary and it feels like pushing things away. And that is the flip side of it, right? Even your energy can't hold two vibrations at once and expect it to feel okay, right? So beautiful, really powerful energy. The answers are simple. The showing up is simple. The goods are simple. It's all simple. But you gotta trust that when this is pinging up, there's that framing resistance that we're gonna get rid of, because we're gonna end up over here at 8 of Pentacles. Booyah. Booyah. I don't know why I'm saying booyah. You know. You know. I love talking to you guys. I really do hope you have the most amazing birthday season. I'm going to enjoy every second of it. I already am. I did year ahead forecasts. I put them up on Vimeo. So I'll leave the link for those below. Definitely check out Sun and Rising. That's the most, I think, poignant and focused energy for that discussion. I'm really excited to share those with you. I had so much fun doing them. We talk about the major transits going on and how that kind of shapes the macro lens of the year. And I pull some cards so we can kind of feel out the intuitive sense. And of course, this isn't about micromanaging the process. This is about feeling empowered with the placements so that you can take them and you can amplify them and you can make it that much better. So I love you all so very much. Check that out. Follow me on Instagram at @SARAHTAROT. I'll leave all my info if you want to check out my booking schedule or ask me any questions. I'll leave all that info below. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in January for more trouble.